moving right along, our uh, our next comic coming to the stage, the second person from Team Bellslinger, Will Anderson.
Woo!
So, I think about killing myself a lot. Thanks for laughing at that, EJ. See, everybody laughed at that. And I didn't immediately assume you were a lesbian. I actually immediately assumed you might be a relative, because I had that exact same haircut up until recently, and we have almost the same face.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's a little weird. See, some of you are struggling because it's a Zoom, performance. And so it's throwing you off because you can't hear the audience laugh, but I don't have to worry about that. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm used to it. I am not eligible for Arlington National Cemetery, though. With my family history, I'm eligible for a spot somewhere wherever they have Jimmy Hoffa. I've been finally getting used to the masks lately. People used to get upset when I wore a mask, especially in the bank. They would say mean, hurtful things like, "Please don't shoot me," and "I can't access the vault without a manager." Now they just say things like, "Why is he naked?" and "I can't grab him, he's too greasy." I went into a bank and everyone was wearing a mask, so I took mine off and robbed the place. The only thing they could remember was that I wasn't wearing one. I don't know. I've been thinking about my childhood a lot lately. I grew up pretty poor. I'm still poor, but I grew up pretty poor too. There were about 11 of us in a double-wide trailer attached to a construction site, which we all started working on as soon as we were old enough to work, but still young enough to not understand child labor laws. This is completely true. That construction site eventually became the house that I spent the rest of my childhood in. And it was weird growing up in a house that was like being built around you. Like winter would hit and someone would be like, "Well, at least you got a roof and 4 walls." Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that no situation is so dire that some 70-year-old can't tell you it could be worse. But, they'd say, "At least you have a roof and 4 walls." And I'd be like, "Nope, I got 3.5 walls, most of a floor, and we're all dying of carbon monoxide poisoning from the standalone kerosene heaters next to our beds." But on the other hand, we never had to ask if anyone was in the bathroom. We just have to occasionally check and see if the bathroom was still there. So that was a nice benefit. There wasn't a whole lot to do where I grew up unless you were obsessively into trees. I mean, I'm pretty sure even the squirrels had smack addictions just for something to do. Like, I have 6 siblings and my parents don't even like each other. So that's how little there was to do. We didn't have like a huge food budget. So we'd go to the food co-op and get a block of cheese that was really just an old sponge wrapped in tinfoil, and a bag of horse feed that they would like call some store brand Cheerios. And that'd do you for like a week or two. But that was before hipsters got to the food co-ops and made them expensive. Like, it's hard to be poor these days because you have a lot of like rich kids trying to be poor kids, making shit that's supposed to be for the poor kids trendy and expensive. Like bacon, like that was what you bought when you couldn't afford the good stuff, and now it's expensive as shit because hipsters keep wrapping shit in it that had no business being wrapped in it. Vegetables are what you bought when you couldn't afford the meat. These motherfuckers gentrified breakfast. A couple of years, there's going to be someone charging $80 a pop to cool off in a replica of a busted fire hydrant on Cornell Street. I was apartment hunting recently. This is completely true. I found a listing. You're not ready for this, I promise. $1,000 a month, no utilities, and I quote, "includes working sink, exclamation point." I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was 18-fucking-23 and I'm supposed to be blown away by indoor plumbing. Glory be, Marigold, how droll, what wonders the futures bring. Got hit by a car once. Yeah, no, I did. I was walking. Yeah, no, that's a masterful segue, isn't it? I almost got hit by a car once. Well, only once where it was on accident. And I'll let you decide who was making it on purpose. But I was walking through a crosswalk in Kingston, And this woman whips around a corner, right? Stops like inches from me like I was in a Jason Statham movie. Leans out of her window and yells, "Learn how to use a crosswalk, you fucking idiot." Well, I'm sorry. I thought that when the little man said walk, that was my sign to walk. But clearly this paragon of the species knows something that I don't know. I tried to get her to enlighten me, but a cop pulled around the corner and she left in a hurry. So now this is going to be a controversial statement, and no offense to anyone who disagrees, but I don't trust the government. Now, not because of like any big conspiracy theories or anything like that. I just think about how many people I've worked with in the past, and then what fraction of them are completely incompetent. And then I think about how many people the government employs, and the math is just not on our side with this one. I mean, look at daylight savings times. That was introduced as a temporary measure to help save lantern oil. You know, it was just something to do just until this whole global conflict thing was over. 90 years later, we're still getting jet lagged without even having to fucking go anywhere. And I can't even remember the last time I was worried about my lantern oil. And as a Jew, we literally have a holiday dedicated to worrying about lantern oil. That's the end of that bit, but the lesson here is that I fucking hate daylight savings time. Normally, I don't use self-checkout in stores because I feel like using them just gives these big stores more of an excuse to cut cashiers' jobs and pocket the extra money. But sometimes there's only one cashier in line, probably because all the other ones got fired after the self-checkout went in. And they just have this look on their face like, if I gotta smile for one more stranger, I am gonna put my face on this conveyor belt and let it run until I hit brain. So I decided to use the self-checkout. And, you know, it went pretty well considering I don't have any formal training in being a cashier. I got myself figured out, got myself the correct change, gave myself a receipt. On my way out, I noticed they were hiring. I did such a great fucking job. I gave myself a job. And then I fired myself after I put in a self-checkout lane and kept the extra money. And that, my friends, is capitalism. And the end of my set. Thank you very much.